All right, welcome back to the No Class Podcast. We are here today with Zach and Chad. He is new to the group. We today are going to be discussing cryptids, UFOs, everything kind of out of the realm of the norm. And I think we're going to let Chad take it off.
Oh yeah, so initially it was my idea to come in here and even bring up this topic. I was a little skeptical on it because coming in hot as a new person on the channel and talking straight about UFOs, I was hesitant because it is a touchy subject. There's a lot of controversy on it going on in the news and whatnot. And I myself am a I'm a believer. I think they're real. I think they're here. I think some of them have been here for a long time, and I think they have a couple of bases underwater. If it's not like a physical like established like area, like it's like a ship or something, like some kind of like mothership that makes different craft that we see and brings them back and like disassembles them and stuff like that.
You're speaking on like aliens, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So there's like I don't know. Uh, there's a community on Reddit, of course. There's several communities and going through there over the years and just like doing my own deep dives. I found a whole variety of different things from like people talking about being abducted and interviews of people who've claimed to have been abducted and leading up to like now and I'm trying to remember some of the big names in the community or whatever. There's like a lot of controversy surrounding these guys because they keep saying like, "Oh, there's going to be a new reveal. There's going to be a new reveal," and it ends up not happening. But we did recently get a little snippet of um, footage from somebody who was in a helicopter, and it's during the night, and it's not like the best footage, but it's like it's definitely something that a lot of people have been watching and commenting on, and it looks like this ladder's descending and falling all the way like down, and at the very bottom you see like this egg. Looks like it's just like an egg at the bottom of it, and it's just like from that perspective, it's kind of like hard to make it out. Um, just how far down it is, so it like makes the whole like video, the snippet or whatever, kind of like weird until you look at it long enough, and then you're like, oh, that's like really far down, and then you get you to thinking like, oh, that egg is like massive. And there's been like a lot of shows and stuff that like I've seen, uh, a lot of like older shows like from the 50s and stuff. There's like they have, I think, clues and stuff because I really think that they were starting to lean towards revealing some of this
Mm-hmm.
stuff to the public. And there's like these weird movies and like speaking of the egg, and that's why I even bring this up. There's I don't remember what it's called. I should look it up and then like provide it for anybody who would want to know. But it's like this movie and it's like in black and white, and there's just these two cops out in the desert and they've stumbled upon a floating egg, and they're like, "What the hell do we do?" And they're talking about it, and it's a it's just weird to see that because it's like, why would they even like have that specifically in like these movies? And it just gets one to thinking. And yeah, I would like to hear some of your guys' thoughts, whatever. I feel like I've been talking a whole lot here. Just wanted to like get like a basis, a ground, to a foundation, if you will, to start us off, and then probably diverge off into whatever maybe something that I have said that is interested either of you or made you have any questions.
For sure.
I don't
So,
know.
oh, go ahead.
Okay, I was just gonna touch on the fact that it is a little weird that Like one of the biggest sci-fi TV shows that was ever on in the 90s was the X-Files, which came on 4 years after Bob Lazar famously outed Area 51 and all the shit that they were doing over there. And the first season, or the first couple episodes of the first season, was all about aliens and all the funky shit that they were doing. And I don't know. Now that since you brought up all that with the movies and stuff, it got me thinking about the X Files, and it was a little weird to me that 4 years after Bob Lazar outed Area 51 and all the alien stuff, that they were like, "Hey, let's do a whole TV show based on aliens and the supernatural and all the weird stuff that they're hiding."
That is weird.
4 years after
Yeah,
Bob Lazar, 4 years. It's a
I
little
don't.
weird.
Oh, dude, his story. I, I don't understand why. Like, there's a bunch of people that don't really believe him. I mean, like, it, he seems very, very intelligent and like a very credible individual, and his stories from that, and he talked about going inside of one of these ships or
Yeah,
whatever, and
they
like,
had asked him to like try to back engineer it. And like how do you back engineer something with a whole bunch of stuff that isn't even from our planet? How do you do that? Which is what he was saying. He was like, they brought me in this, weird craft that they picked up, and then all this stuff that was beyond our technology. There's minerals and metals that aren't even on this planet. It's like, what do you do there?
it's hard. Yeah, and I think they're, I think they're doing it. I think they're,
They're
some of
doing
the
it.
people are definitely have successfully started, if not have some of it, because this makes me want to talk about two things. Well, what's one the first thing, what Bob Lazar had seen on the ship apparently or whatever like that. Remember him talking about like that like holographic thing that like came up
Mm-hmm.
and projected or whatever and just had all those symbols and shit on it. It's like
Mm-hmm.
insane,
And
insane.
you can't tell me that NASA didn't find something in the ocean. Why did they stop exploring the ocean? Why'd we stop exploring the ocean? You can't tell me there's nothing fucking down there.
So my touch point was actually involving the ocean. There was a movie in 1989 that came out that was directed by James Cameron called The Abyss, and it's about a group of people. I don't, I guess, remember what their technical job was, but they find alien life in the ocean, like deep as hell, deeper than you're supposed to be able to go. And the main lead character ends up getting inside of the ship, and he figures out like how they breathe underwater, like how they exist. And the whole concept is like a placental fluid that they breathe in because your body knows how to do it when you're a baby, and they
Mm-hmm.
like show him how to relearn to breathe through that placental fluid to be able to survive down there with it. It's absolutely insane. But it was like an entire like Atlantean colony of a ship underneath the water. That's when you were talking about, with them having like a base or something in the ocean. That's one of those first things that was like, okay, so in 1989 they came up with that out of scratch. Just no no pre-fill, no anything. They're like, you know what? James Cameron
Say that
said there are aliens that are in the middle of the ocean, deeper than anybody can explore, and they breathe underwater by this means. And like, if that's truly just a written story, that is fucking fantastic writing.
and say that year one more time for me and Chad.
1989.
Okay, just to clarify.
Also, then, a handful of years later, 1996, the movie Independence Day comes out, where, Will Smith and, what is it, like Bill Pullman or Jeff Goldblum go
Jeff
on an
Goldblum.
alien ship.
How do you
And,
forget Jeff Goldblum?
well, I couldn't remember which one went on the ship. Bill Pullman was the president. But they go inside this ship and they're trying to figure out how to control it. And it's this like future tech that they're not familiar with. But again, it all comes back to realistically, when I think of like UFOs and stuff, I think of the Roswell, New Mexico incident. And then the fact that the CIA declassed was like, yeah, that was alien life. It's something that did not come from our planet. We're not familiar with it. And like that was legitimately declassed. Like those are documents you can access as just an average American. And like
Yeah, there's
the
and
government
there's
actually
there's a
confirming what people have been screaming for, let's see, what year is it, 2025, 70 fucking years now.
we'll
They're
look at
finally saying, oh, you know what, we can give them a nugget.
we'll look at oh, I forgot his name. Stanley Kubrick. Stanley Kubrick in the last movie he made. Like I feel like there are directors out there that are trying to like show us what's really going on. But, we just look at it as like, oh, these are movies, these are fun, but he got killed for Eyes Wide Shut, and he got, and this isn't on the topic of aliens, obviously. We'll go back to that in a second. It's just a touch point, but 45 minutes of that movie was completely cut, and then he died 2 weeks later after that movie was put into theaters. So there are people out there trying to tell us the truth, and they're getting whacked for it, or they're getting called kooky. I can't believe I just said kooky.
No, it's actually
God,
one of the few times that it's an applicable term.
yeah, I mean the subject's very people don't like talking about it, and a lot of of all the people who have come forward and were brave enough to talk about their experience or story, it makes you think about all the people who haven't.
Or the repercussions
Exactly.
taken against people to prevent this from coming. Or, the people that the media completely drags through the mud because they're telling a story that's their
Mel
truth or
Gibson.
whatever. Yeah, I was gonna point to him, but he's like colloquially considered insane at this point.
Oh, who is it?
Right, but Mel Gibson. But at first he
Oh, yeah.
was he was talking about some real shit, and then he went with all the anti-Semitism, and that kind of killed any credit that he had with the anti-Semitism.
Yeah. Um,
We here at New Class do not support anti-Semitism.
cricket.
Oh,
Um, so, in the same vein and realm, though, as like the extraterrestrial end of things, we have all of the many cryptids throughout the world. I think that, I don't know, dude. I think that if we can all agree as like a unit that extraterrestrial life, out of our planet is real, then I find it super hard to believe that cryptids wouldn't also have some kind of validity to them.
And all the stories are
Skinwalker
pretty.
Ranch.
Skinwalker Ranch. That's a really
Skinwalker
good
Ranch.
example.
I,
Oh,
I don't know if you've seen anything about that, but like they're like from the bits and gatherings I've stumbled across, I thought I had seen something where they were reporting that family that had lived there or whatever, when they first bought that property in that barn, they found like locks from like
mhm.
the inside, like to prevent things getting in and like big like the metal ones or
Like
whatever.
deadbolts.
Yeah, and they lived there for a while, and shit started getting weird after time progressed, and then um, they talked about seeing like portals just open like out of thin air, and then just like shit would just pop out of it, like cryptid esque type creatures and shit just fall out of it, and then
Mhm.
get to doing the whatever the hell it is that they're doing, and just that concept, like if the fact that that could be a possibility, just imagine you're like out in the middle of the woods somewhere, and what I, what the f even like causes that to even happen? Like I don't
Well,
know. I would assume it has to be maybe like another like alien life just seeing that, but like they could just like pop out in front of you in the middle of the woods and just like get you and be gone. And like,
In that realm of thinking, I will point you in. I don't mean to go back to a movie, but the movie Event Horizon.
oh, is that something I need to watch?
Either of you seen that?
I
Nope.
have
No. Okay,
not.
so
I googled it though.
I don't wanna spoil it because Chad, it is a fantastic movie. But the basis of it is that this spacecraft, they were trying to study like wormholes and stuff like that, and trying to like space jump pretty much, you know. And this craft called the Event Horizon went missing for a while, and then just all of a sudden came back. So they sent a team out to go study it and get it back and see what happened to the crew. But and not to spoil it for you, Chad, since you haven't seen it, but they went somewhere that they should not have, and it it goes it gets pretty wild. Um, but I am in full support that wormholes and portals and shit like that is 110% fact. Because we like there's so many stories of all these like strange incidents happening and like time jumps and all these strange creatures of myth and like there wouldn't be this many stories if they weren't based somewhat in fact. But and some of them I think are two of the same. Like for instance, like Skinwalkers, Wendigos, Jersey Devil, shit like that. I think those are all one entity just with two different names, and how they
Yeah.
got
Okay.
here or have they been here, from the dawn of time. That I don't know, but I'm willing to bet that either something has let them in or they've always been here.
The Native Americans even say that there's like portals and shit, dude.
So
And
Oh
did the
yeah, dude, you
Aztecs.
you
I
go to a
like
you go to a Native American like reservation and you even mention the word Wendigo or Skinwalker, you're gonna
You're
get
getting your ass beat.
they you're getting your ass beat.
Yeah, because they believe that saying their name near their presence summons them. Dude, that
Which
was. Go ahead.
I'm a very superstitious person and I hate saying those, but I kind of have to for this. But I think from now on I'm not going to because I cannot stand saying those terms.
So I spent some time in Tennessee. I've spent in total like 3 weeks in Tennessee in the last 7-ish years. And I always stayed in like a cabin up in the woods. And it was such a like weird thing because I was the only person that knew what like any of this shit was. And then like I would hear something, I'm like, nah, that's just a bear. That's just a bear for real. Nah, that's a bear. There's nothing to
So
worry
that
about.
motherfucker stand up straight.
Yeah, see, I'm not the type of I'm not the type of white that goes out with a flashlight to look and see what the noise was.
Nope, I'm too superstitious for that shit.
I
Fuck that.
was I was no shit sitting in a hot tub at one point, heard a noise, and was like, "Did you hear that?" And the person I was with was like, "No, you're being a pussy." And I was like, "No, I swear to God, I heard something." And they're like,
Dude,
"Nah." And then I heard
whenever
it again, and I was like, that was probably a bear trying to get into something." Nonetheless, I'm going inside the house and locking the door. Like I'm not risking.
whenever
I've
um
heard the Appalachia stories.
whenever me and my ex got that Airbnb way out in the fucking woods, we were sitting in the hot tub and we both heard something like way off in the distance and both of us looked at each other and went, "Nope." Went in the house, locked all the fucking doors, made sure all the doors were locked, got all our shit, went in the house, and we didn't even look outside for the rest of the night. I don't play with that shit.
Nah, somebody call Sam and Dean. I can't deal with it. Like on a real note.
I mean, even like people who don't believe in like this kind of stuff, like there's still people who tell you they're like there's shit out in the woods. Like
Yeah, and that's like all of the Appalachian Mountain Trail, like everywhere through there. If you talk to anybody that's local to there, they're like, don't go in the fucking woods at night. If you hear somebody yell help, don't fucking go look. If it sounds close, you're good. If it sounds far away, you need to go the fuck inside now. Like those are like the 3 rules. And dude, I got sucked into like a 6-month period of TikTok where my entire algorithm was just people in Appalachia showing me scary shit on their trail cams and talking and like people sitting in their living rooms in the middle of the night, and you could hear somebody screaming outside, and they're like, see, this is one thing about living in Appalachia is you just don't go outside and look. It's like, motherfucker, I wouldn't be living there.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Catch me balls deep in the city the first time I hear some sketchy shit outside.
That's one of those instances where you don't choose to live there. You just kind of do.
Not you move. You choose to move.
Me personally, ain't doing it. I'm not.
No,
Like,
I'm
I
not
want to
about
live
that.
out in the sticks so I can shoot my guns in peace, but I don't want to live too far in the sticks that I have to worry about opening my door at midnight.
Yeah, felt that.
I'm trying to find this clip, and it's just like a little short one of these lads are just standing on this hillside, just shooting the shit or whatever, and then one's got a camera, and then they look over down, and you see this thing, and it's very obvious that it's not anything that we normally see, and it's like hooking through the woods, and you catch a pretty good glimpse of it. Give me 1 sec. I really wish I could
I'm
see it.
I'm 110% positive that I have seen one of them. 110%. Maybe even 2, but I'm not sure about the second one. But definitely 110% one in my lifetime. And everybody that I tell this story to is like, no, you didn't. You'd be dead. And I'm like, dude, I promise you, because this thing was every bit of like 9 feet tall and went from this side of the tree line to that side of the tree line in a matter of seconds. I
No, it was just a really fast deer.
No, it was on 2 legs. That motherfucker was on 2 legs. I'm calling everybody. I'm calling a witch doctor. I'm calling everybody.
Calling everybody. I'm calling that hoodoo priest I saw on YouTube that one time.
Oh yeah. I'll call Mama. I can't think of a good
Yeah,
joke name.
no,
Never mind.
there's not a good one that doesn't like dance a dirty line.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna fuck with that.
Um, no, and I think that's part of it too, is a lot of the stuff is so normalized to be like for television only. Because, like, so a couple series off the top of my head, like you said, X-Files. Supernatural was a huge one that brought in like all the creepy cryptids and shit, but it like overdid them almost to a point of being like purposefully overdone and fake. Um, there's a show called Resident Alien that indicates that there are aliens living on Earth and da 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 da, and that they originate from the sea and all this crazy shit. But I think that if if the government or the media or whoever knows like the actual truth behind it, they've slipped in so much little stuff over time so that the general populace doesn't panic when you hear it, because you have so many things to reference it to that you're like, oh well, that's not condemning, oh well, that's not scary. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Oh, I
Like, I
found
feel
it.
like, oh,
Oh,
he found it.
about to have a small watch party on the pod. Let's go.
Should I just share my screen, or should I post a link in here?
Share your screen.
Yeah, that'd be easier. Obviously, get a shout out to the channel that posted it.
Can you see it?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. U/Panty Dinner 2003.
Dude, I love that.
Maybe we shouldn't have shouted them out.
Look at
Dude, what are you doing?
Oh, Chad, what'd you do? Chad, no.
my push to talk messed up. I'm sorry.
Oh, there it is.
Whoa.
Yeah, okay. Um, yo, roll that back for me, young Jamie.
Jamie, can you play that? Yeah, it almost looks like quadrupedal, but also using its arms.
Almost like how you would see like an ape walk.
Or like a centaur, but with ape-like features.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was weird.
That's crazy.
I don't know how much I fuck with that.
I mean, like, shit, man. Like, they were pretty close to that.
Yo, catch me reading fucking r slash cryptid on during bedtime.
During
Oh,
bedtime.
yeah.
You mean
They're in
not
the worst
sleeping?
times.
Yeah. When I'm supposed to be sleeping, I'm just scrolling r/cryptid.
And then you wake up and you're like, man,
Oof.
I had a really bad dream. I don't I don't understand why I did this to myself.
Then I fucking look around the room and find that the cryptid is in the house with me now.
Dude, I had some wonky dreams lately based around video games I was playing, and it was super frustrating. So you got to be careful what you consume right before bed.
Catch me, catch me getting back shots from the Jersey Dussy.
Dude, Mothman spread them cheeks for you. You got to be careful.
Yeah. There's some on some of those Reddits. There's some good stories and stuff. There's some good stories on YouTube talking about these things. People being out in the woods and like hearing stuff. Like there's some good clips of people really thinking like it's a Bigfoot that they hear like just growling off into the distance or whatever, and it's loud as shit. And some people talked about how they were camping out in the middle of nowhere and they came like two of them came running by their tent just like stupid fast speeds. And um, I remember even seeing a story about a hunter who said he was out there hunting or something, and then he stumbled upon one and he was watching it, and then he was looking at it through a scope, and then he made a noise or something, and it turned and it was looking at him, and it was just staring at him, and he had a scope on it, and it was just looking at him through the scope about like 100 yards away. And he said he had his finger on the trigger and he was like, I could kill this thing, but he just felt like that, just like, I don't know, that internal feeling of just like, nah, don't do it or something. It was just, he just didn't do it.
Something told him it's just gonna piss him off, and you're gonna die. You pull that trigger, you're dead.
I mean, who knows? I mean, he could have like, if you shot it in the face, if it bleeds like mammals do. I mean, we can't say that it can, but he ended up getting a like tuft of its fur or something, and they tested it, and they determined that it didn't come from any type of fucking land mammal that.
Hmm.
Mm. Ooh, that's creepy as shit.
Can you imagine getting that news?
Yeah, I don't want to imagine that news. I would never go into that set of woods ever again.
Not
I
move.
would I would yeah, I would
Or,
I would never go there again.
flip side, maybe you're boys with it now.
I had even seen a story about like this guy who like it says that they're like living out near this area that he has like part of owns part of, and he said he takes like peanut butter and shit out there and he leaves it on a log, and he thought that there was like they had like a young one, like a young Bigfoot or whatever
Mm-hmm.
with them, like it was like parents or something, and he left like a doll. And he would only go out to check this spot like every 2 weeks, and he went out and the doll was gone, and the peanut butter was gone, and then he couple more weeks passed, and then he came back out again, and the doll was neatly placed back on the log where he left it, and the peanut butter was back there, and uh, I think he even left like some kind of like a um, instruction, I guess, to like teach it to how to open the peanut butter in case it didn't know. It probably fucking knows. I mean, if it's avoiding people, like they are,
Right.
right? But it, and like he said that the peanut butter jar had been opened, and it was looked like somebody took a big ass fucking finger and like scooped a whole bunch of that shit out, and then put it back on that spot, capped it, and left it there.
DNA test that peanut butter.
DNA test that there's saliva in
Yeah,
there.
they probably should. He did. Interesting. I mean, that one obviously that could be coming out the ass, and a lot of
I
these
Right.
mean, yeah,
could be
that
coming out the ass, but
that could have also just been like a homeless dude just wandering the woods and was like, "Shit, fucking peanut butter, let's
yeah,
go."
yeah, yeah.
Oh man.
I guess another UFO story I remember seeing is another hunting related one. Looking through the scope, there's this one guy who there's like interviews on. I could show you the videos for this later, but he said that he was out hunting and then like a ship flew over him and it was just chilling above him, not like flying away. And he used his scope to look up at it, and through the scope he saw through some like clear part of the ship or whatever. He said it looked like a giant praying mantis, and he he did like one public type like not even a complete interview or something about it, like talking about it, and then after that he stopped.
Hmm.
Somebody trying
I
to
mean, it,
silence him.
yeah, I was gonna say it begs the question of like why? Why stop?
Unless he was getting too close.
Dude, I'll be the first one to tell you that praying mantis aliens are the scariest kind of alien I can imagine.
Yeah, the fucking alien from Predator. He's got nothing on a praying mantis alien. That terrifies the shit out of me. That would be
Yeah.
so scary. That would be so scary.
Watch it be like the biggest bros out of all the aliens though. But it's just like, ah,
They
oh,
come down
god
like, you
damn,
want to
you
be
are
here?
so fucking scary and hideous looking. I don't even want to look at you, but you're so nice. So that I I I don't know. I'm sure you both probably have, but there's like claims that there's like tons of different types slash races of aliens, and they're
Hmm.
like documented and stuff,
hmm
and
The
on
most
Yep.
that,
popular being the Greys
Yep.
yeah, yeah,
and the
and
reptilians.
You know our
reptilians.
entire government.
Calm down. I see a red dot on your forehead right now.
Yeah, the Greys, reptilians, the Nordics.
The
And all their
Nordics. I
different
don't know
types
anything
of
about those.
crafts and stuff. They're like tall, blonde people, and
Essentially the Aryan race.
yeah, and like
They're no, genuinely, they're tall, blonde hair, blue eyed, like
beautiful
humanoids.
people.
And they're
Yeah, so
referred to as like space brothers.
Oh, I haven't heard anything about that. That's wild.
Yep.
some of the accounts from them, people like they'd say like they're beautiful, and I think some of them have cigar shaped craft or whatever. Um,
Oh, like the Tic Tac.
yeah, like types of the craft or whatever. Like there's sightings and tons of sightings of like they just like a giant cigar looking ass ship or something coming out of nowhere and having these people. Yeah, I recall another story like in a different country. These brothers were logging and a ship crashed near them. They didn't know what it
hmm
was. They just heard like a loud fucking explosion, and the ship hit the ground, and they went and investigated it, and then eventually they stumbled upon an alien on the ground, and it started speaking to them in their language, like perfectly. And they described that this alien had like some suit on, like not like suit and tie, or like just some kind of like
like a space suit.
spacesuit, yeah. And he was telling the three brothers, like, he was like, calm down, like, don't hurt me, type ish at first, because I mean, probably scared, and they probably have powers, and some of the, we don't fucking know. But the alien was telling them that the suit, the only reason he was alive at that point in time was because the suit was preserving his like internal organs and shit, and like somehow saved him. And
Hmm.
he was like, I'm calling my people to let them know that I've crashed here and I won't be making it. And he was like, please take this thing. And he said that he pulled like a tiny like square thing out of his one of his pockets, and gave it to them, and it like unfolded into like this basically like a body bag. And he said, don't touch me with your like bare hands or anything. You will get sick, because they probably have all kinds of fucking foreign microbes and bacteria
Hmm.
and shit on them. And that he said, you take please take my body after you get it into this bag or whatever, and then take it into the river and it'll dissolve. So like, whatever race of alien this was, if this is even true, I guess uh, maybe our water was like hydrochloric acid to them or something. But these brothers took the alien's body into the river. It dissolved like they said it would, and he said that at some point his one of his peeps are going to pull up and fix the crash site and shit. And they did, because he went out like the next day to go look around and shit. The one brother, the guy who was like telling the story, because he said his other two brothers did not talk about that shit ever
Hmm.
again after it. And he said that he felt even skeptical to even like talk about it. And he said he went back out and there was like no evidence of like the fucking crash and shit. And he said he did find, though, near the body where he was whenever he found them and was talking to him, some kind of like basically pen that he had and like had pulled out at some point for something. But the brother kept the pen and has kept it with him since. And I mean, probably wasn't like the best idea in the sense of like that microbe or whatever, like,
Hmm.
shit. But
At
he
that
said
point,
that,
fuck it.
yeah, I mean, like, honestly, if it were me too, I wouldn't even give a shit. I would grab it, because I'd be
Yeah,
like, that's so
exactly.
fucking cool. Like, and he said that he's kept this pen with him every day of his life since that happened. And he actually, this guy goes to these like conventions and shit where like the big names go, like the Lou Elizondo guy and shit, like talk at and stuff, and like just to like go and listen and hear people's experiences and stuff. And then he um, went up to this one who said he had seen him there, and he pulled out the fucking pen or whatever after he had the conversation with him, and then like twirled it in his fingers and then walked away.
Hmm.
That's a boss move. But
Yeah, it's
um,
interesting stories.
a quick Google search noted that xenomorphs are the only type of alien talked about to dissolve in water.
what, from like the movie Alien?
I presume.
Well, let's hope those aren't actually real, because I don't want to
Yeah.
deal with that.
Grumpy ass
I'll
creatures.
like find the videos stuff from these like stories, and I'll send it to you. This, if I remember correctly, this alien in particular, they said that it looked kind of like us, but its head was like a lot larger, and
Kind of like a
it's
gray, but taller.
I think he said it like he was like kind of like shorter, but its head was like big, but like its eyes weren't like that typical like black, huge gray, like
Mm,
the drawing. There was like a drawing of it or whatever, and its eyes were like kind of like ours, just maybe like a little bit larger, and
mm-hmm.
it's weird shit, man.
Yeah, it's like it. There's no way that we're not alone in the universe.
That we are alone,
There's
you mean?
no way. Yeah, that we are alone. My bad. There's no way in hell that we're alone. Like the universe is so vast and gigantic and ever expanding that there's no way. And like I know that we're in like the Goldilocks zone, but the universe is gigantic. Like there's no way that there isn't like at least another million billion other planets that are teeming with life just like ours.
Have you heard that how the U.S. supposedly has a shit ton of spacecraft and bases on like different planets and shit, and
Hmm.
has like a whole directory in their like computer files talking about like these specific areas and stuff.
I've never heard that, but you have piqued my absolute interest, sir.
So, oh, this was a while ago. There was this
Mm-hmm.
hacker in I think the UK, and he got caught fucking with the US's files and shit. And he said that there's a whole slew of fucking files that just indicate that we have fucking spaceships and shit. And then, like, there's stations with human fucking beings on them with, like, aliens in these stations too,
Mm-hmm.
commingling. And, like, they are out doing missions and shit, and they're reporting back to us here. Type
Like a Men
shit.
in Black esque situation.
Like
Yeah,
Men in Black meets fucking Mass Effect.
and oh fuck, let me find this. Tired of being like, oh, I'll find it for you. I'll find it for you. I'm gonna find one for you right now, just so you know.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Like I said, you have piqued my absolute interest. I gotta hear about this.
And this was
British
like
hacker Gary McKinnon claimed to have
early.
discovered evidence of a UFO cover up by hacking into NASA and US Army networks. McKinnon, known for his hacking activities, has asserted that the US government has been involved in a cover up related to unidentified flying objects. His claims have been explored in the Malicious Life podcast, which delves into the world of cybersecurity and hacking.
Mm,
He did this a long time ago, so like the loading speeds were fucking atrocious. But he said like as images were loading and shit on his computer
mm-hmm.
slowly, he like saw some pretty fucking crazy shit.
And then I'm sure the government was like on his ass immediately.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, when they found out, dude, I'm pretty sure they arrested him or tried to have him
Dude, they
arrested. I
hired
don't
him.
remember.
Like, let's be honest. If he cracked through their system, they're 100% going to hire him to design their system so it can't be hacked.
And
And I
then
mean,
pay him buku bucks to keep his fucking mouth shut.
I don't even think that we would go that far. I think based on the United States track record, it's a you do this or we kill you. And then
Fair
you
enough. Yeah.
continue to do this. And if something comes through and we no longer have use for you, we're either going to destroy your mind and put you in an asylum or kill you.
MK
Just,
Ultra, dog. Everything circles back to fucking MK Ultra.
dude, with my mom being such an avid conspiracy theorist, there's nothing that's outside of my realm of like, oh, I've never heard something like that before.
Mm-hmm. Oh, some of the theories though, some of the theories are kind of out there, but with everything else going on, there's probably some truth to every single one of them.
Surely.
I'm also pulling up some of it
Sorry.
about this guy for his claims.
You're good.
Oh yeah, yeah. I gotta see these claims. What did he see? What was in there?
Hillary Clinton's bush.
Oof. That's something nobody needs to see.
Oh shit.
But yeah, fucking Chad, did you find something?
I did. He said
Continue, Chad.
information, yeah, information about the creation of a secret space fleet and the existence of an inexhaustible source of energy for these secret spaceships. He claimed that he witnessed legit photographs of UFOs and computer files in the Johnson Space Center building. He even snapped a screenshot of one of the cigar-shaped UFOs between space and Earth's atmosphere. Unfortunately, it was later removed from his computer. He also emphasized the fact that authorities used photo editors in order to remove UFOs that accidentally fell on certain important photographs. Yeah, speaking of that, there's like public footage of like some of these NASA photo editors. Like this woman's come out and like she said that all the fucking time, all the fucking time that she was told to edit photos and shit that were going to be like released to the public, and she had to like literally Photoshop the spacecraft out of them.
Mm-hmm. So all of those like crackpot um shit that you'd see in like the tabloids or something was all that grainy footage, and you're like, well, yeah, I see the lights, but what else is there? Was just photoshopped.
I'm saying like every photo that had any evidence in it was photoshopped to filter out that evidence entirely. So
Mm,
like you
I
don't
see you
even
now.
see any like anything.
Mm,
And she said like she did that shit for years. And like they're hiding it. They're hiding it from us.
mm-hmm.
Like it's like why? Because at some point, one of them could just decide to be like, yeah, fuck your disclosure or whatever. Like we're just gonna
Yeah, and like,
fucking land
what
on the
if?
football field and fucking walk out and
Yeah,
dicks
exactly. What if?
out, dude.
What if?
Like
What if the mothership just decides, hey, so we're done hiding in the shadows here. We're just gonna walk out and expose every lie that you have ever been told. Like, what's stopping them from doing that?
Probably realistically mutual agreement. I mean, if you know what I mean, if we have um, a sense of commingling with them, that we're at a peaceful state with any of them, much like any country handles things with any other country, you don't necessarily want war. A declaration of war means allies. Allies means more death.
Right, but what kind of mutually assured destruction do we have with aliens?
I heard a
Like,
theory to answer your question. You want me
okay, yes, absolutely.
to? So I heard that during the Great Space Race, that at one point aliens had visited like all the superpowers at that time, all the countries that were like considered superpowers, and they were like, the first of you that get to the moon, we will help you. We will establish some kind of like base area with you, and we'll not like directly give you like our technology and shit, but we'll like coexist and like work together on some shit. So the US wins the space race. They get into this agreement with them, these aliens supposedly, and we have some contract or deal with them that they won't like help disclosure for the public, us, for like 80 fucking years or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like a supposed agreement. And then this goes on to like I think what is it, like the Majestic 12, and then like the JFK shit. And
I was gonna say,
it
wasn't
says like
JFK
there.
JFK was president for that?
Yeah, and there's theories that he was like about to just be like, fuck you guys. I'm going to tell the American people. And
And
then
that's why they whacked him.
that's why they whacked him.
Speaking of that, did you hear that it was declassed that he was killed by CIA?
That's not even news. We already knew that.
No, but
We've
like
known that for years.
the confirmed admission is what it is for me.
I get it, but like at this point, that's just kind of like a slap in the face.
There's like documents that have been burned, but like someone ran into this fireplace to recover them, and then like there's like the scanned papers from that fire recovery. You see like the literal like burns on like the edges of these paper, and it's like some of the only evidence about like the Majestic 12 and some of their fucking shit, dude.
And what was the Majestic 12 for people who don't know?
It's from what I remember, I don't quote me entirely, but there's like a group of I literally 12 people, and it's like the people who know like everything
hmm
and decide what to do with everything related to that and that topic.
And I'm assuming that after 80 years, the Majestic 12 becomes 12 different people, 12 different people,
Yeah,
12
they
different
like
people.
yeah, I'm pretty sure they started to pass it on, and then now it's
Oh,
like I don't even know if it like is a thing now or if it's just like now like probably fucking billionaires or some shit, you know, like
Fucking Elon and fucking Amazon.
Bezos.
Jesus.
Bezos.
Bezos, thank you. People like that. Which
Um,
weird, the two people that spend the most money going to space for no reason.
um, Majestic 12 via Wikipedia is also known as the Magic 12 or MJ12 for short, is a purported organization that appeared in fake documents first circulated by UFOologists in 1984. And that some UFO conspiracy theories still claim to have existed. The organization is claimed to be the code name of an alleged secret committee of scientists, military leaders, and government officials formed in 1947 by an executive order by U.S. President Harry S. Truman to facilitate recovery and investigation of alien spacecraft. The conspiracy gained notoriety over the years under the Federal Bureau of Investigation, declared the documents to be completely bogus, and many UFOologists consider them to be an elaborate hoax. Majestic 12 remains popular among some UFO conspiracy theorists, and the concept has appeared in pop culture, including television, film, video games, and literature. The alleged members were Lloyd Berkner, Detlev Bronk, Vannevar Bush, James Forrestal, Gordon Gray, Roscoe Hillenkoetter, Jerome Hunsaker, Donald Menzel, Robert Montag, Sidney Sowers, Nathan Twinning, and Hoyt Vandenberg.
Hmm.
Of course, that's just via a quick Google. I don't have any of that information from my natural shit.
Well, no, we would have to go on like a big research thing to get
I could probably ask mom.
everything on that. You could probably just ask mom, yeah, get her on the pod.
Dude, that episode would go for 13 hours.
For real. And it would literally just be you and me sitting back and her and Chad going back and forth.
Yeah.
oh yeah, I would
Yeah, dude, it
I
would.
would that's like a lot of theories and this and that and oh what else is there related to that? I think I lost it.
That's
No,
fine.
you didn't lose it, Chad. The government mind wiped you for a second.
We are pushing 55 minutes, so if you guys want to go through a top 10 list of favorite cryptids or goofy stories about stuff that you really like, that whether or not you think it's true, or either way.
I will end this with one of my stories,
Okay.
if that is okay. Chad?
Absolutely.
Okay. So it was around the time before we moved to the city, when we were still in the trailer park. My dad had just gotten, or was still pretty fresh with my baby sister's mom. She had not been born yet. But I was sitting there playing games, and my dad comes in, and mind you, I'm like a fucking 9 year old, maybe 10. I was probably 9 or 10 when this happened, but I'm sitting there playing video games, and my dad comes in with a hatchet, and he's like, "Hey, buddy, do you want to go cut down a tree?" And I'm like, "Absolutely." I'm 9, 10 years old. Of course, I'm gonna go cut down this tree. It wasn't until later, retelling of this story, that he just wanted me out of the house so he could pipe. Valid. But anyway, so I walk into the woods, and mind you, it is like noon, 1 p.m., something in there. The sun is high in the sky. It is fucking hot as shit out, but I have got this hatchet in hand and I am excited. But so I go, ooh, that area that we shot at my
Mm-hmm.
grandma's. Do you remember? Yeah, it
Yep.
was that exact area. Um, but we had or I had walked down there and I was looking for a nice tree, not something too big, not something too small that would just come down in one whack. But I found this nice, decent sized tree. It was probably about yay big. And I just start hacking at it. And then, I'm sitting there and like I hear like off to like my, like immediate like left, somebody call my name. And I'm like, huh? Look around, nothing there. So I'm like, all right, must have been my imagination, whatever. Start chopping this fucking tree again, and then I hear it again, but it's a little like further away, but like off to like more the right now. So I'm like, huh? Look around the tree, I'm looking around, I don't see anything. But at this point, like I'm starting to get like a little freaked out, but I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, it's just me, little kid brain. So I'm sitting there and I'm almost through this tree now. And then like I hear it again, but it's like a lot louder. And I look and there's a figure standing like behind like a group of trees. And I'm like, what? And like I'm like staring and I just like one more swipe, tree falls, and I'm just like staring at this figure behind the trees. And it's like it's just standing there staring at me. And mind you, each time it has said my name, it has sounded exactly like my cute little elementary school crush, which freaked me out too. But like I'm sitting there and then like I grab the tree and I'm just like walking back slowly, looking over my shoulder every now and then. And then it says my name one more time when I'm like up, like about to breach like the tree line, and it is standing in the middle of the fucking field staring at me. And I fucking straight book it, fucking tree in hand. I'm fucking, running along. And I get back to the house, and about this point, like I am crying because I'm so afraid. And like I get back to the house, and I just like drop the tree in the yard, and like run in the house, run back into my room, and I'm just fucking sitting there on the bed. And then my dad comes in, and he's like, "Hey, boy, did you get the tree?" And I'm like, "Yep." And I like look up at him. He can see that I've been like visibly crying, and he's like, "Oh, what's up, man? Did you hurt yourself?" And I'm like, "No." No, I just got scared out in the woods, and he's like, "Oh, that's okay, buddy," and just kind of like shrugged it off. And I'm just sitting there, just fucking, what was that?
Holy shit, dude! How tall was that thing?
It was like my height. Like it was trying to like present itself as like a child. I don't know if it was
Oh,
yeah, I don't know if it was a fucking like some kind of demonic force or like a fucking like a skinwalker or fucking something. I don't know what it was. I didn't stand around to fucking ask.
yeah. Oh,
On
yeah. I
like
bet. Did it have like a face and eyes and stuff, or
Yeah,
was it
but
just?
the eyes were like I couldn't really see the eyes, but it had like a mouth and it had a nose, but I couldn't really like see the eyes because there was like hair in the way.
Oh,
It kind of looked like the bitch from The Ring, but the hair was
oh,
blonde instead of black, and
whoa,
it was wearing like
whoa.
it was wearing like like what you would wear like as like an elementary school girl is what it was wearing.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's fucking terrifying.
How
But
far
that
out in
is
the like woods is this? I'm sorry.
I mean, if my grandma was still alive, I'd fucking take you out to the exact spot that it all happened. But
Oh,
she is not, and I don't wanna just go to the property.
yeah, no.
But it started so like how that area was, right, is like you would like walk up the hill and there'd be like tree line on both sides, but like this little trail. And like once you got like so far down this like gravel trail, there was like a big open area where they were and like a little like oil rig, and they were definitely like doing something at some point with the oil rig, but I never saw them like doing anything through my lifetime, but like there's just like little clearing, and then that's where I was, and I was like on the tree line, and like I would look like past the tree line, and that's where like the figure was standing behind this like big ass fucking tree. And then one final swipe, and I'm walking back, and I didn't hear it fucking walk behind me, nothing. And it wasn't until I got back up the hill that it called my name one more time, and I look around, and it's fucking standing in the center of this fucking clearing.
Oh. How much distance would you say was between you and it at this time before you started running?
I'm bad with distance, but
Dude, he's awful with
maybe
distance.
I'm so awful with distance, dude. But maybe
How
I
about
don't
in
know,
like
Sky.
terms of a
You've
football
If you
field?
were if you were at the top of like the mouth where it would go out to your grandma's house, down to the center, like the center being like a little bit
because we
off from
were,
that
I
rig.
was I was just up that hill, like looking at the rig. So like
Right.
maybe
The one that
50
I fired
yards.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um yeah, 50 yards is probably actually a pretty good
yeah,
assessment.
like 50
Holy
yards.
shit, dude.
30 to 50 yards is how
Oh,
close it was. And then I
On like
just
a
straight fucking booked it back.
on like a real supplemental note though, your family has always had some kind of bad juju with like demonic type shit.
Hmm.
So hindsight being what it is, and knowing everything we know about the fucked up shit in your family as far as that goes, I'm not above thinking that it was that.
Some kind of demonic force.
Yeah, I feel like your
uh,
family's had, dude, the house he lived in down the street from me was so insanely haunted that it was disgusting.
shit.
Like
Which
that
what
shit.
where are we on time? Because I will tell the other story if we're okay.
Dude, we can run over. I'm not hard pressed.
Okay, Chad, the story that I was telling you about earlier, where it
Yeah.
fucking 9 feet tall ran from one side of the tree line to the other side of the tree line in fucking seconds. Okay, so ready for this right now.
Oh,
So me and my girlfriend at the time, she had told her parents that she was staying at a friend's house, and I had told my dad that I was staying at Sky's house. And we snuck out, and my dad was going to be going to work that morning, so our plan was to just like just wander the town until like 6 in the morning until he went to work, and then we were going to go to my house and fuck and do all that fun stuff and like just like sleep together. But so we were it was probably like 3 or 4 in the morning, and we decided that we were going to go like closer to my place, just kind of like wait for him to leave, and then we were just gonna like go into the house. But so that this was the project behind our houses, where they're building all those new houses and stuff. It was I think when they only had two or three up at the time, and there was still that like clear cul-de-sac type
Mm-hmm.
thing. But we were sitting there, and then she was feeling a little frisky, so we were getting a little handsy and stuff like that, and then I hear like rustling in like the woods. So like I stop, and like she looks over, and mind you, when we had first gotten to this area, there was a homeless dude walking around, and so like before we had settled, we kind of like took a couple laps just waiting for like the homeless dude because she was a little freaked out by him. We were just waiting for him to like leave the area kind of. So we kind of like walked this way and fucked around over here. And then like after maybe 45 minutes to an hour, we got, back around to that area. But like we're sitting there and, we hear the rustling. And so we stop doing what we're doing. And then like we don't see anything, we don't hear anything. And we're just like, oh, it's probably like a dog or a cat or something. So we go back to doing what we're doing. And then like I hear this like breathing almost, like somebody like just ran a mile and they're kind of like like breathing really heavy. And
Oh my god.
I look up and there's just this fucking looming figure just standing there. And I promise you this motherfucker was big, big and lanky,
What the
you know
fuck?
and I'm looking at it and I'm like, and she's not paying attention. I don't think she heard the breathing. And I'm like, hey, I'm like tapping her on the shoulder and like I point and it's not moving. It's just like standing there. And like, so she thinks it's just like part of the woods. It's just the tree. And I'm like, no, that wasn't there a second ago. That wasn't there when we heard the noise. Like that was not there. And like she starts getting freaked out. So, we fucking like we get up and like we start like walking down the road a little bit, and then like it fucking like I'm like I haven't taken my eyes off this motherfucker, and I'm putting her in front of me and I'm like keeping my hand on her so I know where she's at, and I'm looking at that so I know where it's at, and like every so often I'll like glance back and like glance back at that. And then at one point she says something and I look and I'm like talking to her for a second and it's like I look back and it fucking looking right at me and boom, straight to the other side of the fucking tree line, like right in the path that we were walking. So I fucking like legitimately like pick her fucking 95-pound ass up and fucking book it to the other side, and I'm fucking running and she's screaming, she's crying, and I'm just fucking like booking it to the other side of the fucking tree line, hoping to like get towards the houses, because in my head, like if we get to where there would be people, we're okay. So like that's all I'm fucking thinking about. So I'm fucking booking it, and like we get to like close to the houses and I look back and that motherfucker is still just like standing there staring at us. And then like finally like we say fuck that. Like we're going to wait like by this like building, and we're just going to wait there until fucking my dad leaves, and we're probably sitting there for like fucking hour and a half, 2 hours waiting for my fucking dad to leave. And like this whole time I'm fucking like anxiety ridden and I'm terrified and I'm just waiting, praying for the fucking sun to come up because I do not want to be out here with whatever the fuck that thing is anymore.
Holy shit, dude.
And there is
So,
not a doubt in my mind that was a fucking Wendigo. I don't care what anybody fucking says. I didn't see fucking antlers or nothing. I didn't see horns. I didn't see anything like that. But it was fucking tall and it was lanky and its fucking arms went down past its fucking knees.
oh,
Fuck.
oh my fucking god. And how close was it to you at one point?
This one was really fucking close. Cause like when it shot over to the other side of the fucking tree line, like I fucking picked her up and just fucking like ran, and
It's about 100
I
yards from that tree line to the concrete.
okay, so further away, my bad, further away than the first one, but still fucking terrifying because
Holy shit.
it moved like it was trying to get us, and it do that fucking ooh
Yeah, dude,
even
I'm
ooh.
sure. Like, yeah, yeah, that makes the hair on my arm stand a little bit here and that, dude. Because I'm sure I can't imagine being a person and then seeing something that that
Isn't
you
normal.
Should not be here,
know that
should not be here.
shouldn't exist, and then like that has to just physiologically just instantly fucking kick your fight or flight, dude. Just set your
As
fucking
a
sympathetic system off.
as a joke, because there was no other way for us to fucking process this, and like the whole like Slender Man thing was really big at this point, so me and her joked around that we saw Slender Man, but it wasn't until like like growing up and learning more about cryptids and shit like that, that I found what it was. And like I don't think I fucking told anybody that story until like years later. I could be, maybe I did, I don't know, but
I feel like
it
I heard
freaked
it.
me the. I might have told you about it
You and I
because
went
we
through
were.
some spooky shit because of your damn haunted ass house.
Yeah, so I might have told
That's
you about it, but it
yeah.
wasn't until years later that I told fucking anybody else about it because I was like, they're gonna fucking think I'm crazy. They're not gonna fucking believe it. And yeah, no, it still fucking, like, even just being back in that area scares the shit out of me. And whenever I'd moved back in with my grandma for a little bit, because of my dad's really bad gambling addiction, um, I went, I did go back into those woods, but I had this, like, the entire time, I had this, like, looming feeling of fight or flight. Like, the entire time, my body was saying, get the fuck out of here.
To be fair, I don't think you were spooked when we went and shot out there because we had guns.
Yeah, I wasn't spooked then
And
because we had
not
guns.
just like, oh, gun. We had guns. Plural.
Yeah, no, we had everything that I had plus what you brought and what Francis brought.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I went out there by myself, it was just
Yeah.
like walking through the woods. My everything in my body was saying, "Get the fuck out of here."
Jesus
Okay, so
Christ.
like for a quick touch point on his haunted ass house, because I keep seeing your eyes widen when I mention how haunted his house was. So
Dude, it was bad
we treated it like a joke in the beginning, and we're both almost
until
positive that it started because his one girlfriend played with a Ouija board in the basement. So, okay, this is like the chronological order of events that I remember because in my head it's like the first paranormal activity and I can picture it from the corner of every room in his house. So, dude, this all started. Zach and I were hanging out one day. I went to go take a piss. We were in his house. His computer room was in his dad's bedroom. We were listening to Whitechapel, which is like an early stages deathcore band that we were both super into. And I went to go take a piss, and he was out in the living room when I came back, and I was like, "What are you doing?" He was like, "Something fucking breathed on my fucking ear, dude. It was weird." And I was like, "Okay, that's kooky, but whatever." And
Oh
then
god.
like we tried to dismiss it and just like, it's whatever. Well, there was always like a weird vibe in his house. I just assumed it was because it wasn't my house and I'm a bitch. Because like I'd be getting that with people's houses sometimes. I'm convinced that your house was haunted because it's old and creepy and big. But um we were over there the one day and we were hanging out with these girls and him and I went inside. I don't remember why, or maybe I'm mixing up days, but we were upstairs in his bedroom and we kept thinking we fucking heard something. So we like took a couple
you're
steps out.
you're mixing up days. We didn't. Whenever this, I think this is the story you're telling.
The
We didn't
girls
have the
is
girls with us.
the girls is the exercise ball. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So we were upstairs. We were chilling in his room playing Condemned 2 Bloodshot.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, do you hear that? Which like Condemned is it's a creepy game. So like you're already kind of like about it. But I was like, do you hear that? And he was like, yeah, what the fuck is that? And we walked into his little sister's room at the time. She was like 5 tops.
3 or 4.
Okay, so she had one of those, you know those things in doctor's offices? It's like the rectangle bit with the fish that swirl around it and it plays music. She had one of those things. And it was playing, and Zach was like, "Oh, Dad must have forgot to shut it off." Well, he grabbed it off the wall. There were no fucking batteries in it, and it didn't have like an outlet plugged into it, dude. And like when he picked it up, it stopped. And we both just kind of like looked at each other and were like, uh, uh, uh. And like we dropped that shit and we got out. We were like, that ain't it. It's like maybe a week or two later, we were hanging out with these chicks. We went into his house for something. Somehow an exercise ball came into the picture. We were throwing it around. It got stabbed. I was chasing after him. He ran up. We were both like, I was in the doorway of his bedroom and he was like a foot or two into his bedroom. And we heard some shit, turned towards the closet, and that closet door fucking slammed in our faces. Like, an adult amount of force fucking slammed, like loud cracking slam. I've never ran down a flight of stairs faster in my fucking life, dude.
Oh, I bet.
Like fucking
Yeah,
never.
dude.
Don't forget my favorite one. Also, Chad, mind you, while all of this is happening, I am having every night a reoccurring nightmare of some fucking like demonic ass looking woman in my house.
In like, okay, not just in his house, because I had a same fucking dream at one point, but it was like people in robes in his fucking attic performing some kind of fucked up ass ritual. Because like I knew what his attic looked like, and I'd never been up there. When we looked up there, it looked exactly like I had it in my fucking dreams.
Oh,
So go ahead and continue.
oh, fuck.
Anyway, so dad's dad's out somewhere. I'm sitting on the computer, and this I had called Skylar for this one. He wasn't there during it, but I'm sitting on the computers playing on fucking Facebook, listening to music, and like I hear like something like breathes into my fucking ear, and I can feel my hair like brush. It was like a heavy fucking like, you know. And like at this point I'm like fucking like almost immune to it. Like I immediately like I'm sitting there just and I like swear to God I'm just like leave me the fuck alone. Like I'm not doing this today. You know. My little sister was sleeping upstairs in her like little crib, and like as I say leave me the fuck alone, I can hear like I hear heavy footsteps like walk out of the room, through the kitchen, into the living room, and then boom up the steps. And at this point, I'm sitting there and I go and like throw the fucking like I stand up real quick, throw the fucking keyboard back in, push the chair out of my way, run up the fucking steps, and then nothing. There's nothing in there. She's okay. Everything's good. But then that fucking music thing starts going. And then at this point, I fucking get Skylar on the phone, and he, quick as shit, I don't even think he even said bye to his mom at my house with a Bible.
I was on that shit, dude. We have a fucking cross hanging on my wall that was from my like grandpa that's full of holy water. Like my grandpa was like Catholic. Like you don't fuck around Catholic.
Oh, fuck, dude.
But yeah, no, we pulled up with a Bible. Like it was on site. It
Mm.
was it was wonky. It was
Did
That,
anything happen after you brought the Bible?
no,
yeah,
not for
yeah.
like my experience end of it. He had
There
worse, and
was,
then there was like a fight between him and his dad about a necklace and like all kinds of crazy shit.
because I was talking to a buddy of mine, and I'm not a religious person. I'm more like spiritual. But like he gave me this like pentagram necklace after like me talking to him about all these stories, and he was like, "Here, this might help." So I fucking wore that thing every single day after he told me that, and then I'm telling him, or after this whole like Bible incident happened, and then my dad comes home and he's like, "What the fuck's going on?" I tell him what was going on, and he like goes into my room and he sees that necklace and he's like, "This is your fucking problem," and I'm like, "No, it's not. It's not my problem. I promise." But like he was like screaming at me about it, so I fucking like took it from him and just threw it outside, and then shit got worse again.
Wow.
hmm And then a couple days or maybe a month or two after that, me and Sky had another instance with that fucking music thing. But this time it was like the music was super deep, and the coloring on it was like really bright but dark, if that makes any sense. And then at that point we just said fuck it, and we just left for the day, and I'm pretty sure I stayed at his house for the next 2 days because I wasn't fucking with whatever it was.
Oh, Christ, dude.
Dude, that
Yeah.
house still to this day, like anybody that moves in there, you never see him outside. You don't like ever. It's been 11 years since we moved out of that house, and there have been three or four
Going
different
on 11
families that
years.
move. Yeah, there's been three or four different families moved in there, and I've never saw any of them outside. Past like moving in.
Well, there was that first couple. They were out and about a couple of times, but every single time we saw them, it looked like they hadn't slept in days.
Yeah, like they looked sick.
Holy
That
shit,
house is
dude.
fucking sketchy, dude.
That is
Yeah, I don't
sketchy. That's sketchy as fuck.
I don't know what the fuck is in there, but
It ain't
something
good.
every time I look at it, I'm sitting there like, I could move back in. That'd be real nice. But honestly, I think that is whatever is in there calling me back. 110%.
Fuck,
Yeah, dude, I
man.
for sure believe in like ghosts and shit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like
I've like,
I've had personal experiences from like a super young age that have solidified in my head that that's like 100%. Because like I saw my dead uncle at his funeral, and like I was reaching out as a kid to give him high fives because he was reaching out to give me a high five. Like I saw that shit. Like my mom was yelling at me and I was fighting her off to give him a high five before he went up with like the people on the fucking hill. Like it's like dead ass. Like you can ask my mom. She was fucking terrified because here's her kid that, mind you, as a child I could also write in perfect mirror image. Like I could write full fucking stories and you could hold it to a mirror and you could read it in the fucking mirror.
oh my.
But she was like convinced that I was like a little devil because I fucking, saw my dead uncle as he was like flying up with his friends. And then I'm writing these fucking stories and all this crazy shit. She was convinced that I was going to
Homie's
be
out
like,
here writing red rum all over the place.
dude, she was convinced that that was like the kind of situation she had on her hands. And hindsight, I fucking get it. Like, as a parent now, if my kid did some shit like that, I'd be like, no, stop it.
Dude, Ouija boards, man. I've like always had some like instinctual fucking feeling of
I don't fuck
extreme
with them.
dread towards them. Like
Yeah, I don't
I
fuck with them.
was they tried so hard, some of my friends whenever I was younger, they tried so hard to get me to like play with one the one night and just something in my fucking gut was just like, no, no.
One of one of my more recent exes got me after begging and pleading and begging and pleading and bullying and pleading and bullying and more bullying, got me to fuck with one, and I was sitting there like shaking the entire time. And then like the next day after like us fucking with the Ouija board, she was over at my house. And then for like 2 months after that, I would wake up at the same fucking time. No, it wasn't 3 o'clock. This isn't one of those stereotypes, but it
Oh
was
no.
like 2, 1:30 or 2 in the morning. It was one of those because I would look at the fucking clock and it would be fucking 1:30, 2 in the morning. But I would wake up and just like my heart just fast as shit, hard as fuck, and I'm
God.
like my entire body is just racked with fucking anxiety, and like the only time I would open my eyes is to look at the clock, and I'd lay right back down, and then them shits was welded shut. I wasn't. I didn't want to fucking see what the fuck was in there.
God.
Yeah,
God. Yeah. Like I don't want to ever like touch one of those because people
No,
say that like
I've
shit
always been,
follow you and like
yeah, I've always been such an asshole about it too. Like if anybody's like, oh, let's play with that, I'm like, how about you go suck a dick? Like literally, fuck off. I have no interest in
no.
that. I don't want it around me. Don't bring it to my house. Don't
Yeah,
do that
fuck
shit.
no. No, dude. Absolutely not. Peyton's played with
I
one
know.
of them before
So
and
is
she said that
Lauren.
like she said like that shit like moves on its own. Like
Hmm.
I'm like, nah,
No,
yeah,
no.
no, I don't.
you couldn't pay me enough,
I
dude.
don't fuck with them. Exactly. No, I will never ever touch another one in my entire fucking life, ever.
Yeah, I don't have the desire.
You got to
Yeah,
be 21 to drink, but you can be 8 years old to summon demons.
yeah, dude. Honestly, they just were selling that shit in the stores, bro. It's like, yeah,
Yeah,
it's for that family fun. Go play this. Like that shit is that is that shit's cursed.
that shit was sold by a demon.
For
He was like, I'm trying to
real.
get my friends out.
Trying to get my
Yeah.
friends out. Let's go. Let's party, homie.
Free Abaddon, homie. Free Abaddon.
This house was built in 1866, and you think there would be like some creepy shit in here, but I have never once actually.
Dude, I felt uncomfortable in there because like you guys weren't there when I was there with Lauren, and I was like, man, Place fucking creepy.
Yeah. Yeah, Chad, let me walk in your house. I'll let you know if it's haunted or not.
Yeah, dude, yeah. You come over, take the tour, and like look around and stuff. I mean, like, I guess I felt like maybe some like bad energy like once or twice, but not like anything that was like insane crazy. And I've also taken oh, what's it called? You burn it, you
In
walk
Sage.
around. Yeah, sage. I've saged the house several times.
Valid.
So it's
Valid.
I don't I I'm chilling here. There is somebody did die in here on like the toilet in the kitchen, but the dude has never been around to fuck with me or anything.
2 people have died in the house that I'm
You,
currently living in.
you never been taking a spooky dookie and gotten the shit scared out of you?
Spooky too. Yeah, I was sitting there shitting, and I just hear like a whisper. He's like, "You know, I died on that toilet, right, boy?"
He's like,
I'm like, "Oh, pass the toilet
Oh
paper."
shit!
Talk to me more, mustache man.
he like pops his head out from between your legs.
I'm like,
There's
"Oh my
still
god."
poop. There's still poop. Don't you stand up.
I'm like, "You're my bidet now, boy." Like, I haven't wiped yet, and you're down there.
You're down there.
Oh, fuck.
I think perhaps next episode we can spend some time talking about like the paranormal and spooky wildness.
Absolutely.
I think that'll round it out for this. We're just under an hour and a half.
Ooh.
So as always, like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. Make sure you're nice to somebody.
Nah,
I
fuck
will
everybody.
post-
Fuck
I
'em.
will post links to the socials that people want posted in the show notes underneath. But that'll round it off for this episode.
TikTok, OnlyFans, Pornhub. You know mine.